What? Yeah.
Unmute. Hey, I figured it out for one. There
That
we
was
go.
good. You'll have to tell us all how you did it. Is anyone going to be on Zoom?
That's what I'm gonna find out. I know.
Jason, it's Tracy. I'm here right now. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So is anybody else logging into this Zoom? Am I making someone the host, or I'm not sure how you guys do this?
However I logged in, I guess you can make me the host.
Okay,
This little control panel thing here, and Martin sometimes logs in.
oh, okay. The picture looks great.
Yeah.
You need one more person. don't we?
Yeah. Hopefully the door isn't locked. Yeah. Maybe there might be a bunch of people hanging out outside. And then we'll get started. I just won't be able to vote. Which happened last week too. Or really, not like we had anything to vote on anyway. Just us in there right now, nobody else. No?
Still open.
Let's see. I talked to Craig the other day. Nan, did you talk to the moderator?
Yes,
So you all set?
he said he was gonna reappoint me. I don't know if he actually did it yet.
Okay.
But. Been busy at a wedding, and the family and some other stuff, so.
It'd be a short meeting, there isn't really.
When does yours expire?
Um, 2 days.
Oh,
June
so-
30th.
I see. And do you have to go swear in and all that again, or is that?
I don't
Just
think so, if
carry
it's a
over.
continue. I don't know, I will if they yell at me, but otherwise.
Right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of how that all works and stuff. Interesting.
How long are you for, you're a 3-year one or a 2-year?
Yeah, Douglas,
I
you're
think I'm 3.
2024. 6/30/2024 is 1 year.
Let's say that's 3 years. Right?
Yeah.
By that point,
Recently.
Yeah.
we're rolling into construction.
When,
Let's hope.
when do we hear anything from the state?
That was a question I had. I mean, I know it's on here about the MSA. Well, this is about the funding, but. I
Yeah,
was just
funding,
wondering-
off the record, since this isn't started yet, I did do some back channel stuff, as did Craig. It looks promising for the simple fact that we have not participated in any type of funding for schools in 25 years. So that kind of puts us at the top of the pile. But whether or not, based on income, based on some other factors, we make it to the final is yet to be seen. But that's the information I got through back channels. So I guess it pays
The
to
income is
procrastinate.
getting higher and higher and higher by the second, so that.
Yeah. Craig said he was running late. I'll give him another minute and then we'll get started.
Well, can we start? We got a 5?
We have 5. We can start before. I mean, there's nothing really to vote on, so
Yeah, it's not a quorum.
all right, so pop on virtually then. Let's see if we can hear now.
There he is.
There you are.
Hi, guys. Sorry about that. I have childcare. I'm on my own with the kids, so I can't be there in person right now.
That's all right. Well, now we got 5, so let's call to order the Cohasset School Facilities Committee for Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. We are here in person, and public can join via Zoom with the link provided on the agenda. So we'll do a roll call vote. Kathleen Burns, Paul Kearney, Jennifer Lesky,
Present.
Greg McClellan,
Present.
Martin Nee, Nan Roth,
Present.
Paul Schubert, Douglas Schultz,
Present.
and Jason Earls is present. Okay, first item on the agenda is funding outside the MSBA. An update from the subcommittee, so Jennifer.
Well, I dug into this a bit since we last met. I will have more information next time. I have a meeting set on the 6th with Chris Senior and his office to sort of get their sort of experience and perspective on this. But I, through some professional connections, was able to connect with a person who served on the Duxbury School Committee and on the Select Board when Duxbury went through this process. And they very generously sort of shared with me their experience. Like us, they worked with the MSBA and the state to get grants to fund some of that new building. Encouraged to look at the DOE website, which I did spend some time on that as well, and I'll tell you what I found there. Duxbury did a debt exclusion article covering construction, and then some of that was offset by the state funds. So they got approval to cover the entire cost of construction, and then what they received, they sort of offset. So they got the entire amount approved first. The recommendations that were shared were that there's lots of community education and outreach to get something like this to pass, which I feel like we've touched upon already in this committee. But sort of hearing it from someone who's been through it, it's I think helpful to hear that. And that regarding outside funding, their recommendation was to use it to fund your nice to haves. For example, specialized furniture, specialized things that aren't necessarily about the actual construction of the building, but would enhance the way in which the building is used. And so then I did go onto the DOE website, and they have a whole list of the grants that are available to public schools by year. We are not in the position right now to apply for any of them because most of them are around instruction and curriculum, which makes sense. But there was one this year for food services equipment, and keeping an eye on opportunities like that with the overhaul of a cafeteria to then be able to have brand new refrigeration, heating equipment, et cetera, under the goal of bringing healthier food choices to the cafeteria is just sort of a way to sort of offset some of these costs. Knowing that they're probably going to be along the way some things we don't expect to run into, and can kind of keep that budget in check or continue to chip away at the costs. I also did a bit of research around private funding in public schools, and that is a thing. And it's actually a little bit of a contentious thing. It can be problematic in terms of long-term maintenance. It's not a solution for underfunded schools trying to get general operating costs. It's more should be used for sort of specific and short-term needs, because doing things like fundraising from an alumni base or from a town base, if you start to rely on that for operating budget costs, you're really turning into needing a fundraising office, because you begin to then rely on those costs that they're no longer sort of having a budget that no longer is met by just tax income. It is likely to be a tax deductible gift, but when I looked into this, everything had a caveat where you need to consult with your lawyer or tax preparer on whether or not a particular gift that you're making to a public school would count as a tax deductible gift. But most schools are educational entities in terms of how they are seen by the IRS. So just like things to think about. Interesting, Somerville Public Schools has a donation page. So you go right on their page and you can donate, and you can donate to certain curriculum instruction, the arts, and athletics, or whatever it was. They had 3 sort of main areas, and you could just make a straight up cash donation, which I thought was interesting. In the Boston system, BLS, their exam school, Boston Arts Academy, and a few of the other sort of highly ranked schools within that system benefit heavily from private funds. But a lot of that is done as fundraising through their alumni. So that's sort of an interesting way to go. And many schools seem to look at this who do it that way, as if they do have professional fundraising staff, that the cost of a annual salary and the publications and mailing, et cetera, is significantly less than what then they're able to bring in as a percentage. So the sort of budget line is less than the income they'll receive. And then, of course, PSOs, PTAs, education foundations are also a way to sort of channel funding, and partnering with those types of organizations, or having those in Cohasset. I'm thinking those, because we're so small, those 2 organizations partnering and collaborating on whether or not they'd like to help with that external fundraising, and then channeling the funds towards elements of a potential new building.
I know Boston had connections with certain businesses.
Yes,
And,
yes.
like John Hancock would fund something at the schools, and the bank, or some bank in Boston would fund another school.
Yeah, so corporate donations absolutely are alive and well.
We don't
in
have
schools
any
as well.
corporate, is it? We don't have too much of that here.
Yeah, and I think that, with all of this, there were these sort of caveats that could become a little bit problematic. And, one of them on a very sort of high philosophical level is that it contributes to the inequities in education, when some schools benefit from an affluent community and that isn't available to others. Just putting that out there in terms of a sort of piece of research, and a point that was brought forward in what I read. But certainly corporations all the time, big ones, are looking to get rid of some of their money and putting it into education. I think oftentimes feels good, particularly if it's aligned with the company's particular mission, whether it's supporting diversity and inclusion in schools, supporting the sciences, supporting women's athletics. That if it's aligned with the company's mission, it oftentimes makes a nice match for a school. So more to come.
Awesome.
Oh, and I also spoke with someone in town who does fundraising, and thinks that there is lots of capacity here and potentially a lot of interest around those private donors. So, I mean, this is certainly not within the purview of this committee, I don't think, but in terms of it, in its advisory capacity, that there are lots of avenues out there, I think, for some funding, and depending upon what MSBA comes back with too.
Awesome. Does anybody have any other questions, comments?
Just thank you, Jen. That was awesome. That was a lot of work. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
No, I just thank you to that. I know I'm on the same subcommittee. I just didn't have I had no time to research this at all. So thank you for doing that.
Thanks. What time are you meeting with Chris Senior? 6th,
On the 7th, I want to,
7th?
oh gosh, I'm terrible at times, but I want to say maybe at, would you like to come?
Sure.
All right.
But
More the
Great.
merrier.
at 2:00.
Yeah, Nan, I'll email you to confirm time.
Okay, great.
I'm just not good with those, just. in my
Time and
head.
date, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Time, date.
Okay, thank you, Jen. That was great. The next item is the webpage and public engagement. I seem to be going round and round in circles, trying to get the webpage off the ground. So I am roping in one or possibly 2 of the select board members to help push this through. I know we met with Justin last time here. He's more than willing to, especially once we start rolling on this, set up some interview time with Cohasset 143 TV, do a little interviews with us, probably school committee would probably, both of us together would probably be a good idea. So I foresee doing that in the next month or so to at least let the town know that, you know, things are still happening, things are still going. Because, you know, we're kind of at a little lull until we hear back from MSBA. Plus I also want to get a read from the select board on what their thoughts are on whether outside of MSBA, if we get accepted or not, what's the temperature in the town of just going forward regardless of whether we get funding? Because I don't think that's a question that's really been asked. So I think that needs to be put out there as well. So I don't know if we do surveys or how Justin can help us with the public engagement and getting the temperature of the town. So those are two things that I'm trying to work on, and hopefully by next meeting, I'll have a lot more information to share. So that's what I had on those two. So we're kind of cranking through all this stuff. It's really all I had for topics. I don't know if anybody had anything else I want to discuss. I do know Nan brought it to my attention. We need to plan out the next 4 or 5 meetings, because this was the last one that was on the docket. So we can do that right now.
Is the last Tuesday of the month? Seems like that's been sort of our
Yep.
our process. Does that sound like we?
I think we can continue to do that. It's, I also have to reach out to some members that haven't been here a lot to see if they're still interested or not. Because I did get, the town did post, apparently anytime people's terms are up, the town automatically posts that there's an opening. So I got flooded with about 5 or 6 emails asking about the opening for this committee. So I know there's interest. So if others that aren't showing up consistently want to step back, there are people that will be able to fill the positions. But I need them to tell me that.
Jason,
Remember
Mark
checking
Reese
Paul,
is there.
Jason, you might want to check in with Paul, because Kearney, because he may want, you know, be interested in allowing someone else to have a chance at it. Because I think he may be a little overwhelmed with like all his kids are a little bit older. They have a lot of like athletic engagements and
Yeah.
obligations. So I know that's where he has to be a lot of time at this time of day. And then he took a second term on the school committee. So reach out to him. He might be interested in some relief.
Okay,
I could be wrong, but I have a feeling.
I'm gonna ask a couple of others too that haven't been here,
Okay, fair enough.
and then we'll just see where it lands. So the last Tuesday in July is July 26th. A problem from myself. Anybody else?
Looks good to me.
And the last Tuesday in August is August 30th. Craig, help me out. Is this the year going forward that we start before the holiday? on
We're
school?
starting, I believe it's September 6th is the start date. So it's after Labor Day this year.
Okay, so then that one might be okay.
I think the trick is if Labor Day's on the 4th or before, then I don't know. I'm not even gonna try and I forget.
But that's the following year, not, right, that's,
Right. It doesn't start until next. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yep.
So
So
August 30?
yeah, August 30th. September 27th?
I know I won't be here then.
I might not be, it's my birthday, so I don't know what I'm doing that day. But we can put it on the calendar for now, and,
Or do you want to push it up to the 20th
yeah, does the 20th work for everybody?
Or how about put it the other week
or
after?
October?
October 4th? Yeah, we can do that.
October 4th, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So after 8:30 is 10:04?
last one. I mean, we could double up in October if we wanted to. Do October 25th is the last Tuesday. That gives us enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. We usually just do 4 out anyway, so. Good with those dates, everyone?
Mhm.
We'll play by ear, and if we can make it, we can make it. As things get rolling, obviously, if we need to throw a couple more in there, if something comes down the line, we can definitely do that. I did not receive any other topics from anyone. I don't know if anybody else did. Is there any other topics anyone would like to discuss? No?
Not me.
All right, then, we did pretty good today. Wasn't much to really discuss. I hope future meetings will have a lot more stuff to talk
I
about.
think we should enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, because
Yeah, I know. Enjoy the lull before it gets back to the
we come
craziness.
along in the not too distant future. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, did we approve the minutes? I had April 26th meeting minutes. Did we already do that at another meeting?
No.
April 26 minutes you have.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
we have them. Did we approve them already?
Did you approve them last time?
No, because we did not have a full quorum, so I couldn't vote on anything.
Oh, okay.
So
So should
why
we do
don't
that?
we
Sorry.
next week,
But you want to do that right now, the April 26th?
Sure.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our meeting on April 26th?
So moved. Sorry for bringing this up at the last second.
That's all right. No, good catch. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes approved. We'll probably do 2 of them next time, the May 24th, I'll write up, and then tonight's. All right, so now do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, so moved again.
Doug, you give me a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Meeting adjourned.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a
Thanks.
great Fourth,
Thank you.
everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Yes.
guys.
like these
Happy and safe.
20-minute meetings, perfect.
I know.